Welcome to Chukker Chat, presented by the Ocala Polo Club, right here on Horse Capital TV. Sean Kaplan in today for Barbara Hooper, and always we are joined by Dr. Lauren Proctor-Brown of the Ocala Polo Club. We're in the studio today after one of the biggest weekends of the year, Horses and Heroes weekend, benefiting the Wounded Warrior Project, and it all started Friday night for the inaugural Ocala Polo Club Polo Ball. That was just a great night. I was so glad to be a part of it. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I thought everybody had a really good time. We all got dolled up and at a lovely venue. The Paris room at WEC was perfection. I think everybody loved the food, and the wine pairings were great. And we raised a bunch of money with a silent auction, so super grateful for that. We had some awesome companies come out to donate prizes for that and some private donations as well, so very, very exciting.
It was so neat to see everybody really dressed up, and the venue is just phenomenal. The food was phenomenal, but the stories and the mission of the evening was also very special.
Yeah, so everything this weekend benefited the Wounded Warrior Project. That's really near and dear to our heart. Polo has huge roots in the military, all the way back to when the British were in India. And then that's continued on in America and in polo. And, we're really passionate about the Wounded Warrior Project. Jennifer Jenkins was there to speak on Friday and Sunday, and she had a great story. She was a caregiver for her brother when he came home wounded. And she was his primary caretaker for, I think, at least a decade. And at a real time of need, at a really low point for her, the Wounded Warrior Project was there to help both of them out. And now her brother is living on his own. I think he's even dating, so that's really exciting for him as a young gentleman still. So, and she got her life back on track too. So it's really nice that they're supporting both, right? It's really important. And I think that the whole message of the evening is that the Wounded Warrior Project really brings these soldiers home. There's so much more to coming home from a war zone than just a plane flight. They come back with PTSD, they come back with, physical ailments, and then, their families have to support them through all of this. So the Wounded Warrior Project does a great job of that, and they're a really good 501c3 where they do put their money, where it's designed to go. So the administration costs are lower, and they really do good work. So that's why we work so hard to support them, and we're so grateful that everybody else came out to support them as well.
Yeah, great inaugural event. Good job organizing it, and everybody had their dresses and just looked phenomenal. And you had your Dillard's dress.
Dillard's did a great job. I would never, ever have put that dress on. So shout out to the private shoppers. They were great. And everybody was really excited about the private shopping event we got to do. So that was really cool. That was really nice. I'm excited for next year to do it again, do it bigger, learn some things.
Absolutely.
It's just good.
Always.
It's always a learning experience. So we're excited. We're really excited. Everybody enjoyed it. We sold out. We had a really great event, and really looking forward to doing it bigger and better next year.
I caught up with Bree Kratzer, the Vice President of Development at the Wounded Warrior Project, and Jennifer Jenkins, and she is a member of the Warrior Speak team, and here's what they had to share.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a fabulous fundraiser, especially for the first year. We've been honored to be, a beneficiary of the Ocala Polo Club in this particular weekend for a couple years, but every year it continues to get bigger and better. And I think tonight was just a really special event to bring so many members of the community together. We want to bring awareness to Wounded Warrior Project because every single day we have warriors raising their hands saying, I need your help. And we rely on individuals like those that were in the room this evening and members of the Ocala Polo Club to help us with our programs and services. So it's very important that we continue to get the message out that we're here for warriors, we're here for their family members, and also that those individuals that want to help us can.
The biggest part of sharing my story is that there are people out there who've gone through really similar circumstances, other caregivers, other family members of warriors and veterans, and my number one hope is that they'll hear my story and ask for help themselves, connect with the resources that are available. And then I also want the community to know what their neighbors have gone through and what they can do to help warriors and their caregivers like me. It can be really difficult to accept help when it's offered, especially when it's offered by strangers, when it's offered by a nonprofit organization that maybe you don't know much about. I think the biggest thing that Wounded Warrior Project did for our family was listen to what our needs were and then work really hard to meet those needs with the programs that they had available, with the resources that they knew about. And in that way, they've impacted our lives a great deal. When we first met Wounded Warrior Project, I was taking care of my brother 24/7, and today they send people to my brother's home to help take care of him and to make sure that he's able to engage the community and have an independent quality of life that really wasn't possible without their help.
Well, Sunday Polo was sold out with the 3rd annual Horses and Heroes Day, a big donation for a great cause and a beautiful day at the Florida Horse Park for polo.
Yeah, it was a great day. It was great to see the sideline sold out. So now I have to come up with ways to make the sideline bigger and hold more people, because it's amazing to see the spectators come out for polo and support. And we had a lot of new people, and they seemed to really enjoy the match. It was a great match. Avalon Farm, who we know with Wyatt Decker, Margot, Luis Castro, and Hunter Vanderberg, took on Rooster Run. That's Brendan Chetrot's first match here for this winter. He paired up with Miguel Espinels, Chavello, and Laura Wilson. So it was great, 2 really good teams. Hunter Vanderberg just jumped straight out on his horse Barbaresco and scored a goal right off. So nice. The best defense is a good offense. So it seemed like that's what Avalon Farm was trying to do for the match. Rooster Run took a little bit to get moving. They definitely had an interesting lineup organization that they were trying. Yeah. But they did get 2 goals scored there in the first Chukker by Chavello, who's great. That was his first match out this season. For us, he's a great player. He just so he weaves his way through the other players. He just controls the field, which is great. I think second Chukker, we had a couple more goals from Hunter, so I think he got 3 on the board for Avalon Farm pretty quickly. But Rooster Run was definitely not to be deterred, so they kept their lead. They got 4 goals second Chukker, so going into the half, they were still ahead by 1.
Okay.
Halftime, we had Jennifer Jenkins come out again and speak to us. The whole time, I had a whole crew of people wildly selling raffle tickets. We had a pretty nice sized raffle. I think we had 26 items. A variety of different businesses donated, like TNT Distributors and Energy Pellets of America donated 2 pallets to be raffled off. We had a whole bunch of things. Dory Morgan was great, donated a bunch of items, as well as Relevant Massage, she donated 3 items for the weekend, so that was really nice of her. And so many more, I can't even name all of them. And a bunch of Wounded Warrior swag, and it was great. The raffle continued throughout the match and, raised another couple $1,000, so it's really exciting. Walking
away from this match, who walked away with the win and MVP and your best playing pony?
Yeah, so I think Margot got a penalty 1, which is really puts Avalon Farm at an advantage. So penalty 1 is an automatic goal, and then they get a hit from the spot. So off of that, Avalon was able to tie the game back up. So they were 4-4, but Rooster Run was definitely not to be deterred there. They quickly broke the tie and scored a 5th goal in third Chukker. And then they shut out Avalon Farm for the final Chukker and put 2 more on the board. So it ended 7-4 for Rooster Run. So a great match. It was still really tight. Yeah. Chavello Briones took on Most Valuable Player. Very well deserved. He definitely, when he got the ball, he controlled it for his team. It was definitely a key playmaker and decider of that match. But best playing pony went to Hunter's first Chukker horse. So Barbaresco just played great for him, broke out, just clear out in front. No one could catch him. Scored a couple of goals for him.
In the first Chukker.
In the first Chukker, yeah. Fortunately, maybe he had his lineup wrong or something, but we like to have those horses at the end sometimes. But definitely he capitalized on that. So it was really exciting.
A lot of people don't know this, but how do teams come up with their names? I mean, you hear a name like Rooster Run, and that's a cool name, but how do they come up with the names?
Rooster Run is the name of Brendan's farm. So what you'll see a lot is you've got farm names like Avalon Farm Polo or Centebec South and Rooster Run, La Arenita. Those are farm names or team names.
Yes.
And then we also have team sponsors like Piccin Glynn, and that's a local golf firm that sponsors a team as well.
Yeah, and so Team Resolute being the home team for the Ocala Polo Club?
Yeah, so Team Resolute is our personal farm, and if we go out to play with our people. But we have a lot of our people on the field, so that's why you don't see the Team Resolute jerseys that much.
Awesome. Okay, so at the end of all this very big weekend, so special, so important, I know you guys were able to make a nice donation to a great cause, being the Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah, so we raised about $20,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project this weekend. A huge portion of that was also a private family donation from the Buchanan Family Foundation. So we are incredibly grateful to them for matching our donations this year.
It's wonderful. Anytime you can have a donation of any amount, but certainly that amount is super special. And I know it was a great weekend, and I know that the weekend was near and dear to your heart. So congrats on a great effort.
Yeah, it takes a village, and we're so happy that the Ocala Polo community really rallies behind and supports this. So we're really, really proud of what they've done.
All right, well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll highlight all the recent matches and share what's coming up as the Ocala Polo Club winter season comes to a close. You're watching Chukker Chat on Horse Capital TV, the official network of the horse capital of the world.
The World Equestrian Center's All for the Horses Equine Expo, presented by Ariat International, will be held from March 3rd through the 5th, 2023 at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, Florida. The expo will feature a carefully curated collection of vendors from across the equine industry. The All for the Horses Expo takes place during week 9 of the Hunter Jumper Winter Series, which featured FEI International Show Jumping Competition. The expo is free to attend and opens each day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and takes place in Expo Hall 1. Come join us at the World Equestrian Center.
Hello, I'm Valerie Daly at Showcase Properties of Central Florida. Horses are the lifeblood of the horse capital of the world and enrich the lives of many. Our farm specialists are equine enthusiasts who are actively involved in our local equestrian community. If you're ready to discover Ocala, contact Showcase Properties of Central Florida to begin your unique real estate journey with one of our experienced agents today.
Well, welcome back. Lauren, let's talk about a few of the recent matches that have taken place, starting with Beach Day on February 5th. It's always a fun theme on Beach Day. I think inflatable pools, floaties, all that stuff appears. Avalon Farms walked away with a victory.
Yeah, Avalon's been doing great this year, and Beach Day's super fun. So we like to make, different weeks have different themes for reasons, so we can have a little bit more fun. And I love that the spectators get into it too. So it's not just us doing silly things. The spectators totally get into Beach Day. So that capped off our tournament series at the end of January, February, and the beginning of February. Avalon Farm took on Sugarbush in a really tightly contested match. Sugarbush, I believe, started with their half-goal handicap. And we welcomed back Cole Kinsella, who was one of our first working students for Team Resolute. So it was nice to see him get on the field. He played with Avalon Farms, which is then Margot, myself, and Luis Castro. And then Hunter Vanderberg on Sugarbush, as well as Seth Gardner. Sugarbush is a polo club, because we asked about the teams before. Yeah. It's a polo club in Vermont, and they come down for the winter.
Nice.
So Margot and I always make a pretty good team. And put some goals on the board for Avalon, and Lupe Castro helping us out there with the horse that ended up winning Best Playing Pony. But Laura Wilson playing for Sugarbush definitely drove straight to goal, but Margot blocked that one. Seth Gardner came in there for the back to finish it. So we entered the half at 2 to 1.5 for Avalon. Hunter Vanderberg came out in the second half, but we continued to thwart his offenses. He just really couldn't find the goal. Yeah. Girls, we're at that. He had a nice penalty for that week, and Margot snatched it from the air. It was glorious. It's a hard thing to do. So a penalty 4 is a 60-yard shot. And it is defended, so you've got horses and riders standing in the goal mouth. So the goal is to loft it over everybody's head. Yeah. And Margot was able just to snatch that one down with her mallet. So pretty difficult. Yeah. So it's cool for both of them. We scored another goal there in third chukker. We had our blazing chestnuts. So Hunter was on his mare Pajarita and Lupe on a chestnut. We're just battling it back and forth for fourth chukker. So that was a great match there. But it was a scoreless final checker, I believe. They just couldn't get to the goal. So it was great. It's good when the game has a lot of defense.
Yeah.
Final score ended 3-1.5, still with Avalon in the lead. So Avalon is pretty decisive when they get together. So Bube Castro took home his second most valuable player of the season for helping us lead us to the win. And then Hunter Vandenberg's Pajarita won her second Movex Best Playing Pony Award for the season. So it's pretty awesome.
And it's always nice that you do recognize the ponies.
Yeah, and the ponies actually take home a lot of swag. So we do have to thank Embrace Fly Spray, Movex, and then Snacks Fifth Avenue Shoe. So those ponies get a lot.
Well, we forgot to talk about glitter. Was there any glitter involved? And we would really fall short if we didn't recognize your second glitter jacket.
Yes, the
Chukker
second
Chat.
glitter jacket. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's a thing now. Glitter blazers, sourcing glitter blazers.
Right. Well, you're setting the standard, so now you got to keep up with it.
It's just becoming a thing all on its own. I was told I didn't have enough glitter on Friday, but I did have glitter shoes. So,
well,
don't worry.
Well, as we move on to February 12th, an annual favorite, the Beth Rose Memorial Cup. You can see the trophy right here on the table.
Yeah.
It was a windy day that day.
It was.
But, you had the tents down, but the women played fierce as always.
Yes, we definitely had to take the tents down for safety. So we had some pretty strong gale force winds, which made the match a little bit more entertaining. And the women were definitely a little bit tighter and together. So Piccin Glynn with Nicole High, Katie Glenn, Morgan Parsons, and myself, we took on Roxbury Ranch with Pearl Duncan, Roxy White, Sandy Dore, and Lauren Butterworth taking the field for the first time this year. A bunch of us, most of those lovely ladies, traveled to the Sarasota Women's Challenge. So this was our last warm-up match before traveling out of town. So everybody was really hot to trot. I think it was a really tough match, fighting off the wind as well as the strong defenses on both teams. So it was a low scoring match to start with. Sandy did break out on her fiery chestnut Lexi to get Roxbury Ranch on the scoreboard with a great run towards goal. Piccin Glynn responded with Katie and Nicole running to goal, but Lauren was able to stop them for defense on Roxbury. So we went into that half just 1-0 with Roxbury ahead. And all the loyal spectators who are still out despite the win, so love that.
Yes, they were toughing it out.
Yes, they got out there for halftime, and Juniper General Store did another tasting for them.
Oh, great.
So that was great.
It was
really
nice. Fun. I always enjoy those.
Yeah, and they do bring out some really nice stuff. So we came out in second chukker, came out on some faster horses, my favorites, and we made some nice offensive plays for Piccin and Glynn. I scored another penalty too. So the penalty numbers, the lower the number, usually the closest to the goal or the more severe the penalty.
Okay.
So we sunk that penalty too, tying the game, and then we ran out that chukker still tied. Another penalty too in our favor. We pushed towards the goal again and had a foul really close to the goal. Gave us a second goal on the scoreboard, and then we just continued. The defenses was really strong on either side, so I think that's where we ended the match. So it was not a high scoring game with all that wind and just a bunch of women really hot to trot with a lot of defense. But it was a really nice game. You saw some really nice runs from a bunch of different players.
So I think you took home the most valuable player for that match.
I did take home the most valuable player, I think, because I was the highest scoring player. So it's good to sink those penalty twos. Harder than it seems. Best Playing Pony Award went to Sandy Dore's Lexi for the MoveX Best Playing Pony Award. So she had a great run in second chukker, the first goal scored for her team. So kudos to her, because she's been working really hard with her string of very fiery chestnuts. I believe most have been through the Team Resolute barn training them up for her. So it's pretty exciting for us too.
That's awesome. On February 19th, there was no polo locally, but I know you were going to want to share some of your thoughts on that one about going on the road, visiting Sarasota Polo Club as they hosted the Women's Challenge.
Yeah, so they host an annual women's challenge. They don't have a league like we do, but they do a big women's challenge, and it has multiple levels, so different rated matches going on at the same time, which is really nice. It's really nice to interact with international women's players coming in. So there's players that come all the way from Kenya to play in that and get hired to play. So it was great. There were at least 8 to 9 women from the Ocala Polo Women's League that traveled down to play, and I think they all had a great weekend. Margot Buchanan, who you hear a lot about for the Avalon Farm, played in the highest flight, the 15 goal, and as well as on a team with some other Ocala Polo ladies in the 4 goal. And then myself, I got to join forces with some ladies out of Wellington and play the 10 goal. We did make it to the final in that one too, so that was really exciting for us. It was nice to play with them, but we did lose in overtime, so that was a little rough. It's not fun to lose in overtime, but it's nice to get to the final again and play with some really nice players. So it was a really good experience.
Yeah, and I think it was a good experience for some of the players. And I know you guys were working really hard, just kind of leading up to that, to be able to go down and just have a good time and participate.
So we brought a bunch of our women's players down. We ended up having 2 mostly Ocala Polo Women's League teams. So both Piccin Glynn and Avalon Farm played in what we called the 4 goal level. Both decimated our semifinal match. And that put us both in the final playing against each other. So it's just like being at home. Piccin Glynn was playing Avalon Farm, and we got to play on the main Sunday field in Sarasota.
How cool
so
is
that
that?
was really nice. It was very cool. I think Nicole and Katie and everybody was a little like starstruck a little bit. Sarasota really goes all out, and they have a great spectator base. So we can, one day we'll rival them. I mean, last weekend was great too. So the Horses and Heroes, we had a great group of spectators.
Well, but you've only been at it for 3 years, so give yourself some credit there.
They've been at it for 33 years.
There is that.
We've got goals. It was great. Avalon Farm was leading for the majority of that match. Piccin Glynn, we got caught like a little bit flat-footed, our teamwork we just couldn't mesh there for the first 2 checkers. So Laura Wilson, playing with Avalon Farm, was able to help score a couple goals. I think Roxy White scored some for Avalon Farm, and then rounding out the team, you had visitor Finn Gunther coming all the way down from Massachusetts, and then Margot Buchanan. And then on Piccin Glynn, myself, Katie, Nicole, and then Jenna Davis joined us from Chicago. We had a really tight final checker. We got it back and tied it. For the 4 goal fight, we went into a penalty shootout. So anybody who's watched the Women's League in Ocala knows how much we like to go into penalty shootouts because we do it so frequently. But it was great. It's good to see those 2 teams played really well. Everybody there played so phenomenally. So everybody should be so proud. Piccin Glynn did win in the shootout. So Jenna and I both scored our shootout goals, as well as Margot for the other team. So it was just great. I couldn't rave about that enough. I was so proud of how everybody played. And it's hard to travel away from home. And
Different environment, different field, but it sounds like it was just very successful and a great time.
Yeah, I think everybody had a great time.
It was really good. Well, we're not done yet. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll tell you how you and your friends can experience live polo right here in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, as Chukker Chat rolls on right here on Horse Capital TV.
Hi, I'm Katie Glynn. We know there are many choices when it comes to hiring an accident and injury law firm, but there is just one Piccin Glynn. Working alongside my father, John Piccin, together we have served our hometown Ocala and all of Central Florida for over 75 years combined. We personally manage your case, are approachable, and will aggressively work to get the compensation you deserve. Piccin Glynn, experience and care when you need it most.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lauren Proctor-Brown. Now your horses can benefit from the same expert veterinary care as Ocala Polo's Team Resolute. At Resolute Equine Sports Medicine, we offer a whole horse approach, specializing in advanced equine dentistry, spinal manipulation, acupuncture, and integrative medicine. Ensure your horse is feeling and performing at their very best. Contact Resolute Equine Sports Medicine today.
Truck, the Bighorn truck. Florida Heating and Air.
Welcome back. Lauren, it's been so cool to watch the Ocala Polo Club grow, and we here at Horse Capital TV are just so proud to be a part of it, and it's just encouraging to watch and see now in year 3. If you've never watched polo and you're wondering what it's all about, there's your opportunity to check it out. Where are the matches and what's coming up next?
Yeah, so we play at the Florida Horse Park. If you want to use that 475 entrance, what they used to use as their old entrance, not the show entrance, you'll find the polo fields right there. You'll find our ticket booth if you need to buy tickets on game day. Otherwise, you can buy tickets in advance at ocalapolo.com. We do recommend that just because it makes my life a little easier. But you can definitely get tickets in general admission on game day. There's actually a nice discount if you do it online. So
okay.
Just saying. Right. You can't get the tent spaces, the VIP spaces on Sundays, but you can always get reserved spaces. And we do still allow picnic tailgating on the other side, so that is still free, which we like. We like to be accessible to the community. And then we have a bunch of matches coming up still. March, yes. We have 3 more hot weekends.
So starting on March 5th, I believe that's the Bourbon Cup.
Yeah, the Bourbon Cup. So I think people love the Bourbon Cup. You get to have a little bit of a Mardi Gras theme. The Tournament League will be out for that, so that caps off the 2 weeks of the Tournament League. Mm-hmm. So it will be fierce. It always is, because there's bourbon on the line. Polo players and bourbon and horses, that just goes well together. And then March 12th, the Porsches are back. So we love the Porsche clubs in the area. We've got 2 or 3 Porsche clubs coming as far as Orlando and Gainesville. So there was at least 50, I think, Porsches last time. And you're welcome to look at them and help us judge the Players' Choice Awards. And we love that. It's the finals of the Women's League again this year.
And that's the Horsepower Cup?
Yeah, it's the Horsepower Cup.
All right.
So it's the finals of the Women's League again. And you know, the women are they've been playing really well. They're going to come out. I mean, when the Porsches arrived last year, the women got very excited. Yeah. So it was sure to be a great match. And then we have another dark week while the horse park has their horse trials, where we will be doing some other additional polo things yet to be announced. And then we have
on March 19th, right?
Yeah, so March 19th, there is no Sunday polo at the horse park. And then we are back for March 26th is our season finale. So capping everything off, it's sure to be great.
Yes.
The players get really into that one.
Closing out a great winter season.
I can't believe it's almost
it's
here.
It's
almost over. It has.
By fast.
As
we get out of winter, you're going to take a break, and then what's going to happen after that? When are you going to crank back up?
So we come back in June, and we switch to Saturdays. So that'll be our fourth summer. I don't know, a couple summers. We've been doing that Saturday evening polo at 6 o'clock is great after the storms roll in, everything cools off a little bit. Yes. Summer is all about the locals. It's about local people getting on the field, new players getting on the field for their first time, new horses getting on the field for the first time. So it's really great. We like to be approachable. We will announce the summer schedule soon, but it will start in June.
Yeah,
the beginning of June.
As daylight savings time kicks in and the summer hot months start kicking in, you do that time change just to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah. We switch everything to the evening. So you got to just roll with the weather in the summer. But it does work out. I think it actually works out pretty well. And when we stock the temperatures up north of people playing polo, sometimes it's hotter for them.
Yeah.
So that's all good. And, we've got a bunch of people in Ocala that stay year-round now. So we don't stop. They don't stop. Or I'll just keep rolling.
Yeah, just like the entire area that keeps growing, and all the folks that are coming here and staying here year-round, you're doing year-round polo as well.
Yep. So it's great. We keep training too. We keep doing lessons and things like that year-round.
Thanks for allowing me to sit in today, Lauren. It was always fun sitting and visiting with you and chatting.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Chukker Chat, right? Having a little chat.
Absolutely. So we'll see you next time.
We'll see you at the field.